Hey, what's going on, guys? You got Tone here, bringing you my NES Season 2 Week 2 battle against Crazy Razy and his Swindon Fletchlings. So, this is a divisional battle, so I do play him again later on in the season. But his team is very, very terrifying, considering the fact that he has some mons that he didn't bring. He has like Magearna, he has Krookodile, which he didn't bring, some other crazy stuff that he was able to get his hands on. Even funnier, the fact that he drafted 4 Intimidate users, so to neutralize physical threats to Magearna like my Entei. But as you see, he didn't bring Magearna this time around. So I pretty much try to do my best in making sure that I prepped for everything on his team. The one thing I didn't really expect was that Vileplume, but the Vileplume did make sense in the fact that it did check my Manaphy, as Manaphy can be a threat to anyone that doesn't really prep for it. So just to run on his team as a whole, he has Magearna, he has Gyarados, Arcanine, which he franchised from his Season 1 team. He has Krookodile, Meloetta, Vileplume, Megagalade, Zapdos, Hitmontop, Kyurem, and Armaldo. So he has a very, very threatening team. Its team is not overly fast, but his team is very, very bulky. So that in mind, I try to prep for everything on his team, try not to leave anything out. So as for the mons that I brought in this battle, first off, I'm just going to run through it briefly. We have Subtoxic Jirachi with Iron Head and Fire Punch for the Magearna, which he didn't bring. We have a Nasty Plot Togekiss with Roost, Thunder Wave, and Air Slash. Yeah. I don't even know why I sound so uncertain there. Next up, we have Piloswine, Stealth Rock, Ice Shard, Earthquake, and Toxic, because his team is very bulky. We have a Manaphy set with Rain Dance, Rest, Scald, and Knockoff. Rocky MZ Entei with Sacred Fire, Stone Edge, Extreme Speed, and Toxic. As with Rocky MZ's Continental Crush lets me one-hit KO stuff like Defensive Arcanine after an Intimidate with Continental Crush. And last but not least, we have our Mega Beedrill with Swords Dance, U-Turn, Drill Run, and Poison Jab. So as for the potential leads for my opponent, he didn't bring any Stealth Rockers. He doesn't have Krookodile, no Armaldo on this team. So I could have excuse me. I could have gotten up my rocks early with my Piloswine, but Piloswine didn't really have a good lead matchup against most of his team, considering, except for the Kyurem. Arcanine can Will-O-Wisp it, Gyarados can Waterfall, Zapdos can Heat Wave, Hitmontop can Close Combat, and Vileplume can just go for like Giga Drain, Elite Seed, whatever. And I'm not running Icicle Crash on my Piloswine, so my Piloswine can't do much to Vileplume. So since he didn't bring the Magearna, my Jirachi became a little bit more expendable because the only thing it was really checking was the Kyurem. So what I decided to do was I decided to lead off with my Jirachi here, as I'm going to play the video. So I'm going to lead with Jirachi here as he leads off with his Gyarados. Now here I go for the Toxic instead of going for Sub. He's going to reveal his Thunder Wave and he's going to paralyze my Jirachi. The reason why I didn't go for Substitute first, because if he went for Substitute, I would be in a bad position because he would break my Sub before I can break his. So I'm gonna go hard into my Manaphy here after getting off the Toxic on his Gyarados. So he's gonna switch out and go into his Vileplume. I'm just gonna click Knock Off here because knock off something. He reveals, gets rid of the Black Sludge on the Vileplume here. I'm not gonna stay in. Going back into my Jirachi here, he's gonna reveal Aromatherapy. So bringing down these mons are gonna be a lot more difficult than I thought. So he goes into his Arcanine here. I'm gonna click Sub. So now from here, I'm just going to click Toxic, because I'm assuming this is going to be a defensive Arcanine here. He breaks my Sub with the Flare Blitz. Takes a little recoil. I just go for a Toxic again. So basically what I need to do is get into a situation where my Entei comes in on his Vileplume here. So I'm going to go back into my Manaphy here as I click Toxic. Doesn't really matter in the end because I'm going to go for the Rain Dance this turn to get rid of this annoying Toxic as he goes hard into his Zapdos. I didn't see pressure, so he is static, which means he's not defog Zapdos, meaning he's Rapid Spin Hitmontop. So I'm going to go hard into my Poliwhirl. He's going to use for the U-turn into the Hitmontop. So I'm going to go hard into my Togekiss here. Pray he doesn't have Stone Edge, but he does have to go for the Toxic on my Togekiss. And now I'm really regretting not running Heal Bell on my Togekiss because it really would have helped me. So I'm going to go double into my Poliwhirl. He's going to go double back into a Zapdos. I get off another U-turn, wearing down my Poliwhirl even more. Back out comes my Hitmontop as I go for the Toxic this turn. I figured I'd get up my rocks a little bit later on when its Hitmontop's a lot weaker. So I'm going to go into my Manaphy here as he goes for the Close Combat. That's not going to do anything. It does scare him out, so as I go for I believe I went for a knockoff again this turn, if I'm not mistaken. No, okay, I went for Scald this turn. It hasn't been that long, but I still remember turn for turn. So I don't get the Scald burn, but I go hard into my Entei here as he goes for Aromatherapy one more time. So I believe from here I click Sacred Fire again. I click Sacred Fire here. And this is nice because I weaken this and I get the burn too. So Hitmontop's been essentially neutralized for the time being. By getting into a situation where he can't go into Vileplume and Aromatherapy again. So he switches out to his Gyarados. I'm going to switch out into my Manaphy. He's going to switch back into his Zapdos here. I go for the knockoff, and I get the Static Paralyze, but I don't see an item being removed, so it's a Zeemon. So I go into my Poliwhirl here again. It's kind of my only play. And he's going to reveal the Firium Z from the Heat Wave, and that did nothing to my Poliwhirl. I thought I'd just get up my rocks this turn, and now I decide to go for the Toxic again, I believe, as he U-turns out into his Hitmontop. Well, it's perfectly fine by me. I went for Earthquake, predicting he would go for Roost. So now I know he's going to Rapid Spin away Beats Hazards, so I'm going to go for my rocks one more time. I'm going to force him to kill off my Poliwhirl here, and I keep my rocks up on the field. He goes for Close Combat, and I actually ended up living. And I get up my rocks. I try to get up rocks in case he Rapid Spun, but he didn't. And now from -1, my Shard should pick him off, and it does. So my rocks are here to stay in this battle. As he goes out into his Gyarados here, I'm -2 attack. I'm going to Ice Shard here thinking he's going to kill me off, but he just goes for a Substitute. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to have this crap. I can't have this thing sink a Dragon Dance in my face, so I'm going to go back into my Manaphy, which is my Gyarados response. He's just going to click Waterfall here, and now it's going to be that situation of, can I break through the Flinch and the Para to break this sub? I get Flinch, but his Waterfall isn't doing much, and the fact that he's not going for Dragon Dance means that I'm in a pretty decent spot to try to break this thing's sub. But I'm going to go for the Rain Dance first, like get rid of the paralysis on my Manaphy, and try to fire off some Rain Boosted Skull to try to break this thing's sub. But unfortunately, it doesn't break the sub this time. The next one definitely will, as he goes for the Waterfall, the Rain Boosted Waterfall, but it's still not doing much to my Manaphy. So now here I'm going to switch it up and go for Knockoff to break the sub, as he's going to go for Waterfall one more time, revealing he doesn't really have any other coverage option, unless his fourth one was like Earthquake. I don't know. He's going to switch out into his Vileplume here. I'm going to click the Knockoff one more time. Effect Spore comes into play. I get put to sleep, but Hydration wakes me right back up. So with one more turn of rain, I'm going to go hard into my Entei here. Oh, it's hard. I went to Poliwhirl first to sack it off. So he goes for Leech Seed, so down to my Poliwhirl, and now the situation is I go into my Entei and scare this thing out with Sacred Fire. So he goes back into his Gyarados. I'm going to click Sacred Fire here. It's not going to do much. Now I contemplated clicking Contact to Crush here, not wanting to miss Stone Edge, but I decided to risk the Stone Edge, and I do connect this time. So down goes the Gyarados, in comes to Kyurem. I figured that my Jirachi was my safest play, because I need my Entei. He's just going to go for the Earth Power here. And I'm just going to sack off my Jirachi here, because it's not going to really do much for me with it being paralyzed. So I'm just going to go fire off another Toxic. As he goes into his Zapdos this time, I'm going to go for Iron Head just in case. Just in case. And then he goes to go for Roost, and I'm going to go for Toxic here as I break through Paralysis. So on 2 occasions, he could have finished me off with Kyurem. I guess he was afraid of me switching out into Togekiss. He switched to Zapdos, fearing me doubling the Togekiss. So my draw actually goes down to the Heat Wave, which is totally fine by me. Allows me to go back into my Entei, and I'm now free to click Contact or Crush on anything that wants to come in, but he's had to sack off the Arcanine. That's totally fine by me. I fire off my Contact or Crush, and down goes the Arcanine. So Entei's already putting in the work with 2 kills. He goes out into his Kyurem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Togekiss here, as he's going to go for the Ice Beam. It wasn't really a prediction, I guess, but considering all I needed was damage on my Entei, I need Entei for the Zapdos. And I need Entei for the Vileplume. So I'm going to go back into my Entei here. I know he's Choice Scarf, so he's going to sack off his Vileplume here to the Sacred Fire. So from here, he's going to go back into the Kyurem, yep. And now I'm going to sack off my Manaphy, because Manaphy doesn't really do much else in this battle because the Arcanine and the Gyarados are both gone. He's going to go for Draco Meteor. I'm just going to click Scald because I clicked Scald here to put him in range of Entei's Extreme Speed. What I should have did though was gone for Knockoff, got rid of the Choice Scarf, ensures my Entei can Revenge Kill without having to go for Extreme Speed. But he fires off another Draco Meteor, but it gives me the opportunity to go into my Mega Beedrill, and I click Sword Stance and go for the game. So he's at -4. The only way he could beat me is if he crits me, but he doesn't. I'm gonna click SD this turn. And I'm just gonna fire off a Poison Jab. Hope I don't get crit. I don't get crit by Draco Meteor, and I do not. So fire off a Poison Jab. Down goes to Kyurem. And his last Pokemon is the Zapdos, taking the Stealth Rock damage and a +2 Poison Jab adaptability from Mega Beedrill. Is going to finish off the Zapdos, and that is going to be game. So we pick up a 2-0 win over the Swindon Fletchlings. We are now 2-0 in the season with a +3 differential. Entei put in a lot of work against his team, despite the fact that he had so many Intimidate users. Keeping that Scarf Kyurem in the back was a great play by Crazy. The Draco Meteor miss did suck for the fact that I almost could have lost the game, but what I should have did was I should have went for Knockoff with my Manaphy to ensure that my Mega Beedrill definitely outsped it, but at the same time, let's give him the option to switch up moves, so I don't know if that would have mattered too much in the end in terms of differential wise, so it's kind of difficult to say it, to be honest. But we do play him again later on in the season. I know he is a very tough opponent to prep for. This match was not easy, but I felt as though I made the plays I did. I felt as though I made the correct plays, to be perfectly honest. But the Mega Beedrill late game sweep coming in clutch, Entei coming in clutch, and Piloswine keeping the pressure up with the Stealth Rock and picking off the Hitmontop, preventing the rapid spinning away for hazards. So again, so with that being said, if you guys like this, if you guys enjoyed the battle, feel free to hit the like button, feel free to comment if you wish, subscribe if you're new to the channel, because the season has just started. We are now 2-0. We are top of our division, which is very, very nice. And that's gonna be it from me, guys. Till the next time, my name is Anthony, aka Tone. I'm gonna catch you guys on the flip side. Later.